How's everybody tonight?
Cool house.
All right. Before we do get started, I will say, I don't know if everybody knows what has happened. Johanna was visiting her daughter in Denver for the holidays. She slipped on some black ice, broke her arm, had to have emergency surgery. So she was unable to get back for the meeting. Good news is she was cleared to fly today, so she should be back by the end of the week. Probably around Wednesday. So everybody knows. So I will be just running the meeting. I think it's important also to state that I don't get to vote by proxy. I am just chairing the meeting. Okay. So we got roll call. We got the pledge and the invocation by Ron. There's no public hearings tonight. Official reports of town board committees. All right. Resolutions. Number 1, Adam.
Just approving meetings or meeting minutes from last meeting.
All right. And number 2, Matt.
Yep, claims report, $2,627,000.
All right. Dawn, number 3.
The issuance of building permits.
All right. Item number 4.
This is for AdvantageTrucks.com for their salvage yard on Ransom.
Okay. Ron, you got 5, 6, 7?
Yeah, 5 is PIPs for hidden panel metals, 6 is authorizing a dump permit for parking roof, and 7 is the accepting storm sewer for hidden metals.
Okay. Number 8, Dawn.
The water line improvements at TLN 9B.
Adam, number 9.
9 is for renewing special use permit for mulching and shredding on C Street.
Okay. We also got 10 and 11.
10 is for renewing the special use permit for Kenworth Trucking on Malden. And 11 is for special use permit for Northeast Diversification on Cadby and Manson Road.
All right. Ron, number 12.
12 is awarded contract for the guardrails on Mayday Way.
Okay. Dawn, numbers 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Hope I'm getting long-winded tonight. 13's a part-time tutor at the Youth Bureau. Matt, can you help me out with this?
On who she is,
West Seneca. What type of tutoring?
I was just double checking with John. Normally I hear from John ahead of time and he didn't tell me,
Yeah,
so I'll
I
find
tried
out
to
before
call
the
him.
meeting. Yep.
I'd like to get that out of the way. Then 14 is the amended preliminary plat for Hamlet Meadows subdivision. 15 is the awarding the contract repair for the portico of the historical building next door, to construction of A1, construction dating. And then 16 is the asbestos surveys for the demolition of the Seneca Place and Broadway for demolition. And then 17 is a change order for Michelle's building over there to give it some added safety. Is that it, Ed?
Yeah, it's extra, yeah, the blocking and the strapping.
Considering weather constraints, is that it?
The design engineer wanted some more strength into it, so we had some blocking strapping.
And Adam, number 18.
18 is the resolution to apply for the state grant for improvements to the dog control facility, or building a new facility for that matter. I don't know if anybody's been out there recently, but I don't think what we have is basically a shed that houses 4 dogs. You're not supposed to have dogs facing each other. You can't put dangerous dogs. There's overflow sometimes. They go in crates inside our office, which is a state violation. It's basically a shed, and I don't think it was ever meant to be a permanent solution. And this is going to match 75%, so I think it's something we need to take seriously. And go for it, Have respect. I mean, the porch and the historical building's going to cost us $170,000 for a porch. This is going to cost us under $50,000 for a new facility. So.
Yeah, money well spent.
I don't know if anybody has anything else?
Yeah, there's a suspended one. I'm not going to you're aware that a rent maintenance has terminated the contract as of December 31st, so I asked to suspend the resolution in to seek hourly fees, qualification and hourly fees, so we get a rent writer. I think I had it now, right?
Yeah.
All right. And I assume, okay, it's right there, never mind. All right. Anybody got anything else? No.
I did submit the November stormwater report for 2019.
Okay.
Let's see. The total complaint, there were 4 complaints in the month of November, for a grand total of 90 for the entire year. And fortunately for the month, we had 0 MS4 violations. Stormwater, I guess, is they got the idea that they need to maintain their facilities. So that total remains at 27. For the entire month of November, the department did receive a total of 52 complaints overall, for a total for the year of 776. And we were also able to complete 9 fire safety inspections, rising that total to 92 for 2019. I did meet with members of the planning board the morning of their meeting date on November 20th to discuss and answer some questions about the draft document of the zoning amendment. So both Chair Conley and Member Anderson were there, spent about an hour going over the format of the new zoning draft, and they had some more discussion that evening at the planning board meeting. So we're making a little bit of progress there. And then the following day, on the 21st, I attended a webinar sponsored by the Association of State Floodplain Managers to discuss options and better ways for urban flooding resiliency. Just little snippets of things to do in localized flooding events. Did you do it?
Yeah, I sent it to John. I think I sent an email out to everyone, and Ed and I had a discussion regarding the some drainage problems in the town. And I think that after the first year, we have to get together with a drainage committee and come up with some kind of plan how we're going to address the drainage problems we have in town. I mentioned Ed and I had talked about getting a hydrologist and doing an area view of the town, because down the road I can see us having more and more problems, more and more development. We got to put this water someplace. It's got to go someplace.
I sat with Danny last week and he was showing me an overview of everything. You know, what we've been doing, kind of quick fixes, if you will, we need to really take the whole program into place here and look at coming up with a permanent solution. Because all we're doing really is...
We're moving the problem. We're just moving it from one area to the next area.
So we need to look at the whole gamut of things and basically come up with a final solution that will cure us for numerous years, not just a, couple.
I mean, some of the issues we have right now, Ed and I, we talked about Pear Tree, that's brand new basically. And we're having problems there already. And when we fix that problem, we're just moving it over to Bowen Road, over to Windsor Ridge. We're just going to move that problem across the town, and we got to stop doing that.
Did they see the videos? Everyone else see the videos that, like, the water spewing out of the pipes and stuff like that?
I think I sent that out when I sent the email out.
So it's,
Once again, the total of complaints that we've logged on for the year, the videos that you have sent, again, the first thing that people do when they have a drainage problem is either get a shovel or get a load of dirt. They don't bother with any engineering, they don't take any grade elevation, they don't ask questions of the town. They just go ahead and make changes.
they probably create more problems.
And they create more problems than you can shake a stick at. And ironically, this morning I had a discussion with the county highway department about an ongoing 2 decades long issue on Ransom Road. Same thing, he grabs a shovel, the other one brings in more dirt, and all we're doing is we're just moving a pile of water from one side of the road to the other.
But some of it, man, has to do with the developers initially. I mean,
It's development.
Pear Tree was done,
Yes.
was not done properly.
But Pear Tree was approved without a rear yard drainage system.
Exactly.
In 2003, a board in this town passed a resolution requiring every subdivision have a rear yard drainage system to pick up any surface runoff. That development doesn't have it. It's
And I
just
think looking back, before you came on board, very few, if not very many subdivisions were, when they did the final grading, were not done according to the grading plans.
That's true.
Absolutely not.
That's true.
And that creates problems and it comes back on the town.
It most certainly does. And since then, we've made some changes on the issuance of COs. We're requiring as-built surveys, giving grade elevations. We want elevations of drainage inlets, and we're comparing them to the design drawings. And if they're not right, they're not right. We're not going to approve a CFO if the grading is incorrect.
But I think after the first year, we're going to get drainage committee together, and we really have to look at this, and it's going to be something to save us a lot of problems down the road.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Anybody else?
No, I mean, we have a quick executive session tonight to talk about pending litigation.
Okay.
Very briefly, 2 minutes.
I just wasn't sure when. Okay.
2 minutes on the timer.
You got the
I
time.
got the timer.
It's gonna take timer.
All right, anybody else got anything?
We're not adjourning in anybody's memory tonight, unless somebody has anything to add. Okay.
Oh, we do. Tom Pisker,
Thomas?
Thomas Pisker,
How do you spell that?
P-I-S-K-O-R.
Okay. Was it Tom Fisker you said?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
And I'll just say one thing. We're having the town code redone, the general code. We're having our whole code book redone. I was already given clearance to do this months ago, and as soon as we have everything together, we're going with it. And it will be the same type as other towns have, which means that all our code numbers will all change. Chapter 50 will be chapter 400, I believe. And that is the same, that is uniform throughout the area of everyone who has redone their code. And as of next year, it will be mandatory. So we're just a step ahead, but just kind of to keep, won't be anywhere in chapter 50 zoning. And things will change.
Can you do it like that when you do it?
I'll share with you.
See if we need 18 minutes. Yeah, the good thing about me, you get to let me, there's nothing to talk about.
I'm like, wow, we're done. Very good.